Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
But who is he?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
And who is he?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
And what he do?
And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts, CLR Bruce Rivers, where I am a board-certified criminal defense lawyer. And what I do is react to drill music, react to news of the day, and various things related to criminal law. I focus on rap or drill music because there's always something kind of cool and interesting going on in the world of rap music as it relates to criminal law. And that's what I do. First of all, I want to thank our Instagram followers. We're over 10,400 now and going strong. So if you see this, you should go over to Instagram and follow us. Follow us on Twitter. And if you haven't signed up for Patreon, sign up for Patreon because you'll get advance notice of things. And also, all that money goes to help the indigent. Anyway, so today we're reacting to 30 Deep Grimeyy drill lesson. And I will be stopping this every so often just to give you kind of an insight as to what I think, because just the name of it sounds like you're going to get some lessons in drill. And if you know what drill means, it means taking on your ops, basically. So without further ado, here's 30 Deep Grimeyy drill lessons. One of the things that is a recurring theme throughout the drill scene is retribution. Retribution is a motive for murder. It can be used sometimes for premeditation, evidence of premeditation. This guy did this to you, so you're going to do that to him. That's your motivation and preparation.
Slide. Hey, how to really slide. Pass me the fucking cup. Hey, Rod, turn me up in the headphones a little bit, gang.
So now, as with all self-snitching videos, what do we see here? We see some hardware, some really nice-looking hardware here. And it looks like he's got it set up almost like they're ready to rock and roll. And what happens when you've got the hardware and you've got a record? That's self-snitching.
You wanna know the rules to sliding? First go get you a ski, then go get yourself a chopper, pull up, hop out on feet. If you see him in the crowd.
And we've got these now. These guys are masked up, so to that extent, you don't know who they are, but 30 Deep Grimeyy is not masked up, and if they can show that these weapons are real, he's got an issue.
See him in the crowd, be precise when you greet.
If you see him in the crowd, be precise. What he's talking about there is avoiding collateral damage. And I can tell you, whether it's in Minneapolis, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, New York, LA, there is a real problem with gun violence and a real problem with collateral damage. A lot of kids are being killed because of this kind of stuff. But being mindful of collateral damage, somewhat responsible, I guess.
Cause ain't gon' know where hit him once your ass leave the scene. You wanna know the rules to sliding? First go get you a ski, then go get yourself a chopper, pull up.
See, these guys look like terrorists. And I'd rather have them pick up golf clubs, to be quite frank with you.
Trying to get your ass some gains and I get smoked like a seed. 30 deep do interviews, fill out your app with a kid.
So when you watch this video, first of all, I'm going to tell you something. The feds watch this stuff. The feds watch the Instagram. The feds, they're building cases on these guys constantly. And why are they doing it? It's because it's out there. It's out there. It's super easy to do. And what do the feds like more than anything else? Low-hanging fruit. They love to pick on the guys who are, who are the least amount of work for them. And this guy's giving you an instructional video on how to kill people.
Introduce the general manager, bitch, come get you again. DP employee of the month for some shit he done did.
He's employee of the month for some shit he undid. Well, guess what? That is not only self-snitching, that's snitching on his employee of the month.
Too intense, boy, don't get caught in the day. You gotta rap with Big C Murder if you want you a raid. See, I prefer the AOP, but I'ma give you a Dre. I fell in love with...
So one of the things that that's really not addressed in some of this stuff, and you know, you can have drill in you know, your ops, and you know, you have the culture of the gangs and all that shit, but you know, whether it's worth it or not, you know, when you look at this, is it worth it? Is it worth it to kill this guy because he dissed you or because he killed somebody else? I mean, I think I've said it before. Where does it fucking end? It doesn't end. You know, be smart. You know, there are times where I think it might be worth it. Like, let's say somebody raped your daughter, or let's say, you know, I'm not an advocate of vigilantism, but you know, you catch some guy in bed with your wife, bop. You know, I can understand, you know, that kind of stuff. And these guys are young. And like I've said before, the male brain doesn't really reach maturity or is not fully developed until about 24. So these guys are really young, and I know, let's just, like I've said before, let's hope this is art. Yeah, he's talking about ARs and the Drake. The 223 is a round that is about this big. It has very little kick to it, and it goes through a lot, and that's what he's talking about here.
Niggas that be dissing, I'ma double your pay. Then take a bath, fit some bleach, and dump in the lake.
So take it, you know, in other words, he's talking about how to destroy evidence. Which, by the way, is another crime. And it's also, if it's found out, consciousness of guilt. So let's say they find some bleach at your house, and let's say they have evidence of you cleaning up a crime scene. That can be just as bad as the crime itself. You know, it's like, oh, they didn't have any evidence, but now they've got you cleaning up evidence, and you didn't clean it all up because you can never get it all. And then he says, dump the thump in the lake. I'll tell you this. You go to the bridge over a river, people can only throw things this far or that far. And it's not that hard to find sometimes. And so, you know, like how long did it take them to find the car in Miami? You know, they got a tip of where it was and they pulled it out. So, but the thing about that is, you know, when it's submerged, you know, evidence does get destroyed because fingerprints, DNA, that kind of stuff does not do well in water.
Don't know what hit them once, so ass be the same. I learned my lesson with them Smitties, I don't fuck with them names.
The Smitties are the Smith & Wesson, which happens to be my preferred model. I like the wheel guns, but because they don't jam.
He had a shootout and she jammed, she don't fuck with me neat. I started creeping with my 40, learned that
Creeping with my 40 caliber.
I'm her icy my team. Before you whack them, piece the scene, make sure you cruise through for me. Then throw that bitch in airplane mode so they can't retrace the dick.
So he's talking about putting your phone on airplane mode. And there are so many different permutations or ways they can use cell towers. You can put your phone on airplane mode, but the GPS could still be active, and they could still track where you are. So that's not always a surefire way to avoid law enforcement. The other thing is that if you turn your phone completely off, that's also a tell. Okay, so we had Mr. Grimeyy. He was talking to this person, this person, and this person. Then during this time period when the murder happens, his phone is offline. And then shortly thereafter, his phone's back online. It doesn't work. That shows that is evidence of participation in a crime, because just like the evidence of where you are, that where you have actual direct evidence of something, the lack of evidence can also show that paint a picture. So if you have your phone offline and nobody can see it, that looks suspicious, and it's circumstantial, but it can be a powerful tool used by the prosecution.
Every nigga stat so they can know that you did. Just watch the trenches show you love once they know you were killed before you.
So he says haha here, and basically he's telling you to post this shit online so you get some respect, so everybody knows what you did. That, my friend, is self-snitching. He's advocating for self-snitching. And, I just caution anybody who looks at this and glamorizes it, because it is something. I mean, it really is something how he's detailing what the drill lessons. And it doesn't even seem like this is art. It's like he wants people to audition for his crew. But let's hope it's art. We'll just take it at that. But I don't advocate for you to get street cred by posting shit online. We saw how that went for a big homie. Didn't do well for him on Instagram, or anybody else for that matter, or NBA YoungBoy with him and the guns, and so.
Slide, fill up that clip, make sure you wipe off them shit. Make sure your driver got that wheel in case they get on your trail.
So again, he's advocating to wipe off the bullets before you put them in the gun. That, and when it's pretty rare that you get fingerprints off of a gun, because the firearms are generally manufactured, because you have a grip that generally is not conducive to fingerprints, but DNA is often found on these things. Just like if you handle a bullet, unlikely that you're going to get a fingerprint off it, but you could get DNA off of it. And so if you have a record and they've got the DNA on the bullet, then they've got you in possession of ammunition, which is a federal crime with certain mandatory minimums. And if it's used in a killing, hard to say that you didn't handle that weapon beforehand.
If you crack one of his homies and not him, then oh well. Complete the mission with no witness, I'ma pay you to say. You wanna know who the slide first, don't teach you.
I don't advocate for anybody to do this. You gotta be with somebody, leave it alone. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of other ways you can solve a problem. These are permanent solutions to what would otherwise be temporary problems.
Them niggas ain't gonna know what hit them once your ass leave the scene.
So that was 30 Deep Grimeyy, drill lesson. I think, I mean, it's entertaining to watch. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. I mean, we in America love violence, right? We love mob movies. We love horror movies. We love, the zombie movies. And let's put this into that category. It's grotesque. It's super violent, and it's super calculated. And, if I doubt any of this would ever be able to be used. It looks like he's just making a rap video, a sensationalistic, incredibly cold, incredibly violent rap video, and it probably does. In fact, it does depict how the streets are right now, especially in terms of violence and gang violence, and how cold some of these guys are. And I mean, the killings just happen routinely. Be nice if some of these people kind of came to their senses and figured out another way. But this stuff is popular, and it's popular with the young kids, and it's popular with you guys. Otherwise, I wouldn't have 300,000 followers right now. So we're going to be doing some other things very, very soon, and I'm really excited because I've got a couple interviews I lined up. So what I'd like you to do, a couple things. Comment on what kind of interviews you'd like to see, because I've got some guests that I'm going to do like an hour-long format coming up. And then the first 25 hilarious comments, we're going to do kind of a town hall Zoom meeting, and make sure you get us your email address. So we're going to pick the top 25 comments. We're going to do a live Zoom kind of a meeting or meet and greet. So be super creative, and make sure if you are watching this, you need to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and sign up for Patreon. So we'll see you next time. This has been Bruce Rivers, Criminal Lawyer Reacts.